crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people.
This is the Steamroller 2015 number 2 scenario called Two Fronts. There is kill box. You need 5 points to win. You get 1 for dominating your close zone, 1 for controlling the far zone, and 2 for dominating it. You can't do either of those though until you destroy the enemy objective, and if you do so, that's another control point. Hey there guys, this is me Malorian, and this will be another War Machine Wednesday Battle Report. And today we have Dylan with his Menoth, and he is going to be running Epic Feora. Not painted, but interesting looking army. Otherwise here we have then as well Tyson with his Circle, and he's going to be running an Epic Morvahna list. So Circle won the initiative, and they wanted to go first. The Blood Trackers are making a prey of the Zealots, so they'll be getting +2 to hit and damage against them. And on the Circle first turn, the Druids are going to come up here in Cloud. They probably could have just gone up a lot further, just right up and spread out, but he's playing a little bit safe. The Blood Trackers are going to be running up here, getting up the middle of the field. Morvahna is going to come up, and she's going to be putting Carnivore onto the Blood Trackers, giving them +2 to hit. And then whenever they kill somebody, they'll be healing up Morvahna, which is really important because a lot of the stuff that she does, her feet and, being able to do rerolls, all hurts her. So any way you have of getting her healed back up, pretty important. Otherwise, Stone's going up and Beast getting into the stone so they can teleport the Stalker up if needed. And you can see up there, there's the chicks with the 2 daggers. They're going to start doing a big extreme flank. So now we're going on to Menoth turn 1, and he's going to be popping his mini feat here with his Zealots. That means it can only be hurt by feats, and since Morvahna's feat doesn't hurt, they're basically invincible. I think you could have placed them a little bit differently to spread them out a little bit more and cover more area, but they're kind of doing what he needs to. They're up there just to get in the way and say, hey, you can't kill us and you can't get past us. Otherwise, the Hand of Judgment, it's going to be coming up here, and it's going to be spraying down a couple of guys. Pretty tough jack there with its sprays that are all boosted and all that stuff. Otherwise, the Exemplars are getting up behind there. The Repenter trying to fight its way through the forest. And then up here, he's going to be on the Reckoner running up. And then finally, another jack is going to be his Bonded Redeemer. So the bond on Epic Feora lets it so that all hits make continuous fire. And so the Redeemer loves that because it shoots off all these AoEs. Now, he does some shots up there going after a Skinwalker, which I don't think was really needed. What you really want to kill off is all these Blood Trackers. Line of sight's a little bit of an issue because of the Reckoner. However, because he's on a hill, he ignores everything that's his base size or smaller, so he could just shoot over the Zealots and get here, and he does do one shot there, which will be scattering over and killing off one of the Blood Trackers. But, yeah. Otherwise, Gorman goes up, and he's going to be clouding up there. And now we're on to Circle turn 2. Now, there's not a lot that Circle can do on their turn because of how there's all that stuff in the way. It's not like the Blood Trackers are going to really hurt the Hand of Judgment or anything. But what he's going to do here is kind of like just delay. So he's going to come up here with the Blood Trackers. They're mainly going to be jamming up those Zealots because you don't want them free. Those Zealots, if you ignore them, they'll go for their little fire bombs. They'll just destroy you. So at the bottom here, he's going to be shooting up half of the Exemplars, and then he's going to do a reform just to get in there again and just try and get inside the way. Otherwise, that's going to be pretty much it. I mean, all the rest of it's now going to be pretty much just trying to move up and just trying to be ready for next turn. So the Gallows Grove is up there. He's going to be moving up here with his Skinwalkers. His Druids are going to come up and cloud again. The Chicks are continuing their extreme flank at the top. So basically there's a line of like 6 of them way up there. And then otherwise, just kind of staying back here in the stones, again, just waiting to try and do something later on, and being ready to be really threatening if they get too aggressive. A Stalker teleporting over your lines with the shifting stones, that's a pretty scary thing. So otherwise, we are now back to Menoth, and Menoth has a great turn here to do a lot of attrition. So the big thing with Epic Morvahna is that with her feat, she's allowed to break things back that are either solos or grunts. And so in doing that, if you can wipe out entire units, it's really big because then she can't bring them back. Or if you can remove them from play. But the first thing that Menoth is going to do here is charge in with Nicaea. And unfortunately, she's going to be like a millimeter out. So nothing there. Otherwise, now the choir went up. They sung Battle on the Jack, so they get +2 to hit and +2 damage. The Redeemer is going to go up, and remember all those 6 chicks up there I was telling you about doing the super flank? It's going to be shooting down 4 out of the 6 of them. So they passed their command, but they're really not a threat anymore. So whereas, you might have to kind of worry about them getting around you and getting to your choir and being just really annoying for a cheap unit, the Redeemer is just trying to do its best to say, get out here. I'm not going to really worry about you too much. Otherwise, the Hierophant comes up and makes things a little bit cheaper for, one spell for Feora. Feora is going to come up and charge one of these little blood trackers and is going to then just fire step away. So not really getting tons done, but, get a little bit of work done. Otherwise, the Repenter is going to come over here and it's going to spray. The nice thing here is that the Hand of Judgment is actually immune to fire. So you can go and spray that thing all you want and it doesn't care. That's going to kill off 2 blood trackers. Then the Hand of Judgment will come over here and spray off another 2 blood trackers. So, really starting to get them whittled down. And so if that's the goal, to try and kill them, he's doing pretty good so far. Now the Zealots are going to go. They're going to go for their Fervor or whatever it is. They get +2. And they're going to be starting to throw these little bombs everywhere. A little bit of issue just making sure they're all in command. But now, of course, in combat, he's going to be making some attacks. And then once he's done with that, just fire bombs everywhere. He's going to be killing off the Gallows Grove. He is going to be killing off a Skinwalker up there. And as well, down here at the bottom, he's also going to be killing off this Night Witch with a Scatter. So doing some pretty good damage. However, again, it wasn't really focused. I think maybe if you would have tried going after the blood trackers and making sure to wipe them out, that would have been a little bit more helpful. But either way, he still did a lot of damage. Alright, so last few movements here. Gorman going up, clouding up, and now we're back to Circle. So Circle lost a lot, but now they're hopefully hoping to come back and do some more attrition of their own. The Zealots, when they don't have that mini feet up, they're actually pretty squishy. Their armor does go up after you kill the first one, but even then, it's nothing that really keeps them safe. And so I was kind of wondering which way that Morvahna would go. Would she go after the top zone or the bottom zone? Is the Stalker just going to go in there and just totally wreck things? How is this going to work? So the first thing he does, he goes with the Skinwalkers. They're going to charge in, making sure to kill off Gorman, and then also kill off a few of the Zealots here. Gorman had put himself that far up, more to kind of be in the way and more protect the Vassal. I mean, Gorman used to be that key model that you want to keep safe, but in this case here, the 2-point Vassal is way more important than the 2-point Gorman. So Gorman goes down, and a few of the blood trackers, or not blood trackers, the Zealots die here from their attacks. Of course, with the UA there, getting 2 attacks is pretty nice to have. Otherwise now, the Druids are going to come up, and they're actually going to be going for Feora. Now, this is something I really didn't see whatsoever, because Feora has pretty good defense, and so, those little random shots don't have a good chance of hitting, but he actually hits once with a Druid and pulls it forward 1 inch. And he does some measurements, and I guess if you would have moved it forward 2 inches or 3 inches, the Stalker could have teleported up and gotten to her. So it's actually kind of a real close call there. Feora could have been a lot of trouble. All of a sudden you just primal the Stalker, it teleports over, you get rerolls with Morvahna, and yeah, that could have been the end of Fiona. So that assassination didn't work. So now instead what's going to happen here is that Morvahna's going to move up, she's going to pop her feet, taking tons of damage to basically bring back in all the solos and all the other models. So all those blood trackers that died, they're all back now. And because they just have to be within command, they're all over the place. So the swing of attrition has really turned around here. And now there's also just models really gumming things up for Menoth. Unfortunately, with things not being painted, it's a little bit hard to see, but you can kind of see how back by the choir, the Blood Witch is back there. Otherwise, the Gorax is towing the back zone. So pretty much it and the 1 stone there is trying to hold it down. And then finally, he's going to go in there with the Stalker, trying to take out the Reckoner. But he's going to be going for Berserk. Now, the reason why he went for Berserk is to try and kill off some Zealots and heal up Morvahna. But the thing is that with all the rerolls he had to do, he kind of didn't really help Morvahna out at all. In fact, she's going to end up with only one box at the end of this. And then because he didn't warp for strength, he had a really hard time. Like, he didn't go for primal. He wanted to still have him, of course, usable next turn. So the nice thing is, even though he didn't kill the Reckoner, he did really cripple it. I believe its cortex is out and its arm is out, so it's really not going to kill the Stalker, but, you know, where he probably would have liked to try and clear out that zone and maybe try and get a point, that didn't really happen. So otherwise now we're going back to Menoth, and Menoth needs to come back. The attrition started kind of swinging around here, and he has to really make sure to just keep on top of it, trying to kill off all these blood trackers that just came back. If he can get to the Stalker and kill the Stalker, that'd be great, but, you know, also keeping Feora alive, pretty important as well. So otherwise, what's happening up there is, I didn't mention it, but the Redeemer got rushed by some of the chicks, and so it's going to be killing one, and the other one's going to be failing a test. This is kind of funny. The Repenter comes up and sprays and tries to kill off a bunch of these guys here. Only really manages to kill off his own Monolith Bearer, though. That's the UA for the Zealots. And then failed to kill any of the the actual blood trackers. So that didn't really work out as well as he kind of hoped. Otherwise, you know, Fiona just kind of moving away. A few more attacks being made here. I believe, oh, this is actually at the top there. This is where he's actually going to be killing the one lady up there, one of the two. So the last one's going to fail command, but really this is also just what the Circle player wants as well, right? That Bonded Redeemer can be doing a lot of work, and so if it's over there just trying to punch things, that's pretty good for it. So the Hand of Judgment's going to go now, and it's in a pretty nice spot to do a lot of sprays. So it's going to be going in and trying to spray into there, but really didn't kill all that much, actually. Oh, here it goes. That's why. He must have been just trying to think of what could go over there. Anyway, oh no, that would have been from the Vassal shot. Okay, the Vassal made him shoot, didn't do too much. Now he's going to come over here, and it's really kind of difficult to figure out where to place this guy, because he wants to do his spray, but you got to keep him out so he's not engaging anything either. So he's going to come up here, and he's going to be spraying that Stalker, doing some pretty good damage, lighting it on fire, not taking out any aspects, but that's pretty good. And then what's going to be happening actually after? We might as well finish this here, but I'll tell you that when it comes to the fire's not going to go out, and it's going to take the spirit out. So that's going to be very annoying, because now it's going to make his order of action such that he has to do Morvahna first. And yeah, that's really it. So he didn't really kill off as much as he probably needed to. He got those exemplars up there to be a little bit more threatening for later. But now it's back to Circle's turn. And since they didn't really lose all that much, now they're in a very good position to really kind of clean up and move ahead. So I would say with all those models up there, this would be a good time to be going for the zone there. Really trying to get in there and trying to clear it out, dominate, and get this scenario game going. So he's going to be going first with his Skinwalkers, and they are going to be going and doing a big combine against the Reckoner. And that's a good way of doing it. They get two of those, and so they're going to be able to finish off the Reckoner, get it out of there. Make some attacks against some of the other models. So when Nicaea came over, she's like has her toe in the zone, so that's going to be something that's going to be hard to deal with. But right now the Night Witch is doing her little thing where she just like dances around, is going to be killing off a bunch of choir, failing to kill the Hierophant, but still doing some really nasty things. Otherwise, the Stalker is going to eventually move over here and kill the objective. The blood trackers are going, and they're going to be killing off more of the Zealots. So this is going to be a huge swing of attrition going back now. It's always crazy to see that with Morvahna, where in 1 second it looks like she's lost all of her stuff, and then you kind of turn around, and then all of her stuff is back, and all your opponent's stuff is dead. And that attrition game is pretty crazy. So more choir were killed, more zealots were killed. Now Morvahna is going to come over and get into the zone. And wanting to dominate here, the objective was destroyed. So that's going to be one control point for Circle. And yeah, that's going to be it though, because they were not able to kill Nicaea. So they did do a little bit of Druid shots at the Hand of Judgment to push it further away. He was hoping to be at 3 points right now, but he is only on the 1 point. So now Menoth is going, and they need to get back in here. They need to kill these guys. They need to find some way to turn this around. Maybe try and find some way to get to Feora. And what he's going to do is have Nicaea charge out of the zone and then come over after the Redeemer at the top. Feora is going to be moving back to try and play it safe. And what's going to happen there is, because nothing else gets in the zone, he is going to not only Deathclock himself, But the end of Death Clock, you then go and do your scoring. And when we did that, well, Epic Morvahna dominates again for 2 points. He killboxed himself by mistake for 2 points. So this is actually one of those crazy games where technically the guy won on Death Clock, so by caster kill, but then also won by scenario because he had 5 scenario points. So kind of a crazy game, a long attrition. But in the end, if you're playing a game of attrition, that's exactly what Epic Morvahna wants, and that's why she got the win. All right, so the game just ended here on, time and also on scenario.
And scenario.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the game?
You could have sprinted back into the zone with Nasia there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
you
a
could
good
have
point.
contested. That would have been...
Yeah, no, there's definitely a couple places where I could have...
I mean, you had 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, no, I had a feeling I was going to death clock out on this game because I really need more practice playing with the clock in general.
Feora is particularly bad for that.
Yeah.
Like, she's just...
Well, there's so much, I mean, especially this list, because I have I think if I were to bring Feora again, I would definitely not bring the Zealots, because I'm throwing bombs to gotta measure all that crap, and then, like, sprays, so much there, and this guy throwing out 3 or 4 of those a turn. Like, there's so much to measure and so much to do, and I'm bad at the clock anyway, so...
He was in a really weird spot. He should be central. Like, your bonded jack that's lighting everything on fire should be central. He shouldn't be wasting his time with these blood witches. Like, I was not lying when I said they wouldn't do anything against your particular... Like, if they got into the back arc, sure. But you could have had, I don't know, like these guys probably should have been deployed to counter them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also forgot to activate those guys on the first turn, so they were kind of behind the entire time too.
I thought this was a real danger zone because you really didn't put a lot of guys into contesting this. I mean, there's the one stone in the back, but did you just kind of really feel that you could blitz through here first, and that's why you weren't really defending it as strongly?
I only had the one heavy compared to his 2, so I just wanted to take out one of his heavies before committing to have my stalker get killed. Of course, that didn't quite work out because I boxed in my stalker, so I couldn't sprint out, and I also didn't primal.
Now, you went for Berserk that turn. Do you think you should have gone for Strength just to make sure you took it down, or...?
The Berserking actually healed Morvahna a lot, but she did end up having to re-roll. It's weird. I definitely should have primaled. I don't quite know about whether it was the right call there, because dice -3 is not the worst, and it did end up working out mostly. I just didn't quite spike any dice.
Yeah, I think if you primal, then you don't need the strength. You could go for the berserk to make sure you kill those guys. But. Yeah. So going into this game, like, what was your kind of intent? Like, what do you think you're going for? More scenario, attrition, assassination?
Honestly, I thought I was going to commit to this zone entirely.
Oh, so completely changed.
That's why I put the druids over there, because I knew they wouldn't die to the fire, and I was going to just blitz over here.
So what was the decision that changed that then?
The fact that his missile pod guy was just killing off my useless toolbox unit.
Oh, okay.
I figured I could get him off way over to the side of the board and then just keep getting people into melee with him. So he'd either have to take the free strikes or just try to punch them in melee and not be doing his job.
Okay. And how about for yourself on this side for Menoth? What was kind of like your game plan going in?
Well, light stuff on fire. I was gonna try and go for an assassination on her, but I didn't set it up very well, and I didn't attrition very well. I mean, the Zealots did surprisingly well. I'm actually kind of shocked that they actually took out most of those blood trackers, which was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I had taken my Sevi list instead.
Did they have been better?
Yeah, I feel like his feet would have really been very handy in this, because there's so much he could have taken control of and so much shenanigans he could have got into. And if I had just taken a couple wolves with his feet, I could have probably taken out the Gorax or done something with them, because that's a lot of POW 13s.
Yeah.
And just being able to awareness, just to make my shooting count for a bit more. This was kind of like a...
I would have had the Druid Wall, though.
Yeah.
And everything has stealth. Except for the wool,
Well, the Sevi...
Oh, yeah, you ignore stealth.
That actually...
Or you don't know stealth.
Awareness, I'd see right through the cloud wall, which would be great. And I also have the Redeemer in that list, too, which I think would have been handy. But for this list, I don't know. I need way more practice with Feora.
I think you played Feora a little too conservatively,
Yeah.
like she's exceedingly tanky. Defense 15, armor 17,
Yeah.
camping to 23, or if you do it on feet, you can camp up to like 30 armor. Because Morvahna, light her on fire, and she's basically going to crumble to the ground and cry.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Well-
she can. Would purification get rid of fire with caustic present fire in effect?
I think it would.
So what's the wording for
I guess I
hers
could
for
light tap in and
Feora's?
out though.
It is.
Yeah, you could also do that. Just move out of range.
That's an issue.
But what's the wording on Feora's?
It is fire continuous effects that affect enemy models in the control area cannot expire.
And what does yours say? Does it say expire?
Immediately expire. So yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to move out of range in order
I would have to move out and then light Kev back into his zone maybe.
Yeah. I think I was just a little too nervous about the stalker and moving Feora up.
Well, yeah, but just at that last turn, the stalker didn't have spirit. I can't buy or boost. And if I move too close, then you're, if not getting the that hand of judgment into Morvahna, you're getting him in with a spray.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was... I agree, I'm probably a little too cagey with her.
And I mean, we got this fancy new character, Jack. What do you guys think about it?
I freaking love it. I want to... That's the thing that made me want to take Feora, because that's... On a spray, that's just wild. Because it can get up to POW 16, and rolling boosted on it. It's just... I totally agree with what you said about that reach can really hamper it.
It's like the only Jack I ever wish didn't have reach.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to have it because it has mobility, so it's got a good threat range without reach. But the reach just makes its flamethrower that much harder to use.
Yeah. The thing is like, it can be pretty dangerous in combat too. Like, throw Ignite on that thing and battle, and you're going to be taking out anything. So I think it's a really good all-rounder, especially for the points.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know. I can't get over my love of the Adjudicator with Feora.
Yeah.
All those fire templates.
I don't know what it is. I just don't want, like... Because I think I don't like big, huge models. Like, the thing that pushed me out of 40k was the Riptide.
Oh, okay.
And so I think I just have, like, a hate of big models.
Last 40k tournament I saw, it was just like, oh, it's an army of all tanks and then 3 walkers.
Yeah.
Where's the infantry? I remember there's infantry at some point.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're getting to 40k, I'm going to cut this one off.
Yeah, we could probably end that. Yeah.
But yeah, all right, guys. So thanks for playing, and for those watching, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey there, if you liked watching this video, please go down and give it a like down below you here. And if you have any concerns or questions or comments, please put those in the comment section as well. You know, the best way for me to give you what you want to see is if you tell me what you like seeing and what you don't like seeing. So otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.